Hey guys, welcome back to Arlie at Home. I'm Arlie, and I am not celebrating Thanksgiving. No, this is a big turkey. I'm gonna tell you now how many pounds she is. This one is roughly 19.92 pounds, so almost 20 pounds. And I bought this turkey in January for one reason and one reason only, and that's to save a ton of money. And I'm gonna share with you guys what happened to me at the grocery store so that maybe you can learn from this video and also save a bunch of money as well. So guys, I was at the grocery store this past week and just picking up some odds and ends. And one of the things that I needed to pick up was some ground turkey. Now, I always try to substitute ground turkey and ground chicken in my recipes for ground beef just to make better food choices. It's something that we prefer as a family. It's not for everybody, and I understand it. But that's our choice. So I went to pick up a couple packages of some ground turkey, and it was $6 and like 50 something cents per pound. And I was like, oh my God. Like I never paid that much for this, for the ground turkey. So I kept walking. I decided, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to get it. I still have a package or two. Let's see if maybe it'll go on sale. So I'm not going to get it. And I start walking through the grocery store and I'm noticing like the eggs. Oh my goodness. I paid, how much was I paid $11.78 before the Christmas vacation for a box of 60 eggs. I just paid $22 and change, almost $23 for the same pack of eggs. And I can show you guys here. My mom sent me over her receipt from going shopping at Walmart where she lives. She lives over on the west coast of Florida, and their eggs were a lot cheaper than ours here in South Florida. It's very strange how this whole egg thing is happening across the country. And I don't have any chickens. I don't have that ability here in my county. We're not allowed to have chickens here. Even egg layers, nothing. It's considered farm animal or livestock, so we're not allowed to have them. Um, some people do have them, but I don't want to break the law. I don't want to break the rules. So I've opted to not do that. But I was mind blown. So I kept walking through the store and I'm picking up the things that I need. And I notice that the chicken stock, the containers of chicken stock, are $5 as well. And I said, oh my goodness, it's just everywhere. And as I'm walking through the frozen meat section, I noticed that this turkey, this dude right here, is $1.59 a pound. And I said to myself, well, I know how to take meat off of a bird, and I have a grinder attachment for my KitchenAid, so I'm gonna grind my own turkey. And bonus item, for a lot less money, I'm gonna roast these bones from the whole carcass. I have scraps of carrots and celery. I have onions. I'm gonna make my own stock. And I'm gonna share with you guys how to do that so that you can learn as well everything that I've learned over the years. I've learned this stuff in culinary school because this is a practice that they teach us. You have to know how to make your basic stocks, your basic soups, how to break apart meats in different ways. Like that's just basic culinary skills that we learn. But I'm implementing all of that now into my daily life so that I don't have to spend almost $7 a pound for this exact same meat. The exact same meat that I paid $1.59 for, it's almost $7 a pound just to have somebody else do this work for me. Well, you know what? I'm not afraid to roll up my sleeves and get to work. So we're all gonna do it together and you guys are gonna share with me. Come on. All right, guys, so successful meat cutting is all about preparation. We've got our big turkey here, our bird's ready to go, and it is washed and fully dried. So I took paper towels, I patted it dry, I got it ready to go so it's not slipping and sliding everywhere. I've got a bowl over here to my left that's gonna catch all the meat for us to grind. To the right, I have my roasting pan. We need to roast those bones, so why put them into a separate bowl to then throw them into a roasting pan? No, we're gonna go directly into it. And in here, I have our giblets. A lot of people would have said, oh, why didn't you just throw the giblets and grind them or whatever? Because you can do that with certain things, but I don't want to do that. I think giblets and I think gravy. So the giblets are going to go in. They're going to impart their beautiful, delicious flavor into the stock as well. So they're going to get roasted. And then off to the side here, I've got a stack of paper towels. And I do that just because if your hands are wet from the turkey meat and you need to kind of walk over to the sink to wash your hands, whatever the case may be, you have paper towels there to make sure your hands are dry and you're not dripping turkey juice everywhere. I've got a sharp knife, fillet knife here, and a sturdy cutting board that's not going to move. So let's get started on deboning this chicken, or this turkey. Sorry, this is a giant chicken if that's the case. How silly. So I'm just going to come in here where the thigh and the breast meet, and I'm just going to slide my knife cautiously through there, running it along the rib cage. And then I'm just going to push down on that thigh, and I'm going to separate that bone. If you guys want to come in a little closer, I can bring you a little closer. Rex, out. Rex, out of the kitchen. Get out. Okay, you guys, so you see here where the bone has kind of popped out of its socket, and you can see that right there. See that? I'm going to come in there with my knife and just kind of separate that. Follow that along. Remember, you're going to grind this so it doesn't have to be perfect. If you don't want to grind this and you can keep it for roasting, you can do that as well. But when you follow that joint, it just comes apart naturally like that. And you have your quarter dark meat turkey. Now we're going to do that again. You can feel where the drumstick meets the thigh right there. And you can pop that out sometimes. Sometimes you can't. But we're going to help it along. See, right there to the joint, all the way around. And then you just pop that apart. And you see where that joint separates there. Perfect. So now you can just separate this meat from the skin. Sometimes you need to use your knife, but very rarely. See? And that's just extra skin you don't need, and that's a clean turkey thigh right there. So we're gonna slide this down the edge of the bone very carefully. Always be mindful of where your hands are. Let the knife do the work. And you have successfully removed the thigh bone from that thigh. Now I'm just going to come in here and find any other little bits of bone and things of that nature, any yucky stuff I don't want. Separate that. And then I'm going to slice this, now that I'm here, and it's in my hand, into strips that'll fit perfectly into my grinder. Like that. Perfect. Throw it into my meat bowl, and that's one thigh down. We're gonna do the exact same thing with our drumstick. Take the skin off ever so carefully. I'm not putting any pressure with my knife. I'm literally just lightly running it along as I pull the skin off with my hands. That's what you want to see, this right there. And then when I get to the end, I'm going to just take the knife up against the bone to where the meat is. Done, that's there. And we're gonna separate this in the exact same way we did the thigh. Just carefully working it along. Now you could keep this drumstick, take this bone out very carefully. These little pin bones from the turkey thighs, you have to be cautious with. So you could keep the turkey legs, the drumsticks, whole if you're into that, and roast them, and that could be dinner one night. I had a bad experience with a drumstick once, and I refuse to do it ever again. But I am not opposed to grinding. So with these, because they are a little bit tricky, I will grab my larger knife and just come in and just kind of cut through. So you have tendons, and you have these little pin bones. So these little tendons and pin bones, I do not care for those guys. See how your meat just comes right off of them? You don't even need the knife for this. You just use your hands and they come right off. And if it doesn't come off with your hands, you just hold on tight and just run the knife along the edge. Your meat is separate, your pin bones are separate. Nothing is going to go to waste. And that's the main goal here. Now to the wing. Your wing is kind of the same thing. You're going to come in here and you're going to find the ball joint and you're going to run your knife in there cautiously, of course. Look at that wing. That's beautiful. That's a whole lot of meat. I'm not going to grind these wings. I'm going to keep them for something completely different. But I am going to set them aside over here. But they will not get ground and they are not going to get roasted today. Next is the breast. Let's get a better look at it by taking all of this skin off. So now that we've removed just about all of the meat from this turkey, and there's more, I'm just going to be nitpicky, making sure I get it all. Since I'm grinding it, it doesn't have to be absolutely beautiful. It just has to be there, if that makes any sense to you. And I'm just going to pick through this guy, make sure I've got everything. I don't want the excessive fat. I just want the meat. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So just picking through, coming around, and flip it over and work on this side. Okay guys, so at this point I'm removing that second breast, and all I'm doing is running my knife very gently and very slowly along the rib cage to make sure I'm separating that full breast from the bone. And that's it, guys. Look at how easy that was. We have all of our roasting turkey over here for our stock and for our beans. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with those wings later. And then we have all of our clean meat over here ready to be ground. I'm going to clean up and get ready for the next step. Okay, so we've got our stand mixer here ready to go. And this is my grinding attachment. As you can see, it's got the blades inside. I can take this apart so you guys can see it better. See, it's always got the arm inside that spins the meat through. I'm going to place that in there, and then that's the blade that cuts it and feeds it through to get that ground meat consistency we're all used to. So now I'm just going to slide this. It's got a way to it. Oh, I got to undo that screw. Okay, tighten that up, and it is ready to rock and roll. So now I'm just going to accommodate myself a little bit better here so that I can feed. Also, it comes with this tool. This tool serves many purposes. One is to turn the knobs. I had a moment, I had to read that. See, it fits in there so that you can open and close this guy up. And then it also helps to push the meat through. So you're going to be pushing it through, always being safe, never putting your hands inside of here, because that's where you get finger casualties, as I like to call them, and we want to avoid those at all costs. So now I'm going to get started. Let's watch how this process goes. Oh my gosh, you know what I should have done? I need to weigh all of this meat. Should I do it before or after grinding? Let's do it after grinding, because I might get like some bits of sinew or tissue or something, some kind of tendon that gets stuck here and won't push through, and that's not food that we're eating. So I want to get a finished product of how much meat I actually ended up with that's usable and is the actual amount. Okay, so let's get to this. Okay, can you guys see there? We ended up with 7 pounds and 1.2 ounces. I'm lighting it up with my phone. It's a little dark from the bowl, but 7 pounds. I think that's pretty decent considering when you really think about the fact, here's my calculator, it was $6.59 a pound times 7.1. I would have paid $46.78, 79 cents. Let's just say an even $46 for this bowl of meat had I bought it at the store pre-ground. All right, guys, we've got 7 pounds of ground turkey right there. So that's just gonna sit there. They're gonna freeze nice and flat and easy. And that was not a lot of work, honestly. A little bit time consuming because I slowed down to show you guys how to do it. But if I would have just knocked it out working and not stopping at all, I would have been done in less than an hour. And that includes roasting off the carcass of the turkey, which I'm gonna be taking out in a minute now so that we can do that stock. So right now, I have my huge stock pot here, ready to go. And I'm gonna see if I can get this thing in there. I'm not gonna get it in whole, and that's okay. So what I'm gonna do very carefully, because it's very hot, you see it got some nice color to it, which is what we want, that roasty color, is use just some good strong kitchen shears. And see, I probably should have broken this down earlier, but it can't always be perfect, right guys? Okay guys, so all of the yummy bits of the turkey, everything that we roasted off is inside of this big stock pot right here, ready to go. So to this, I'm gonna add, this is garlic that I have frozen, whole peeled garlic, a handful, like maybe 12 cloves, which would equal almost about a head of garlic. I pre-chop and freeze the majority of my onions so that I can do exactly this. Because when I'm tired at the end of the day, the last thing I want to do is sit here and start cutting onions. So I do it the day I bring it home. It makes it so much easier. And then all the scraps of celery and carrots that I have, except for that, that's the hearts, that's all gonna go in there as well. And then, here we go. We are going to add pepper, a lot of pepper. I love pepper. Pepper's delicious. It's floral. It gives an amazing flavor to everything. Not to mention a little bit of heat, which is good. You could add the whole peppercorns, but why not? I've got them in here. We're gonna add some salt. Not a lot, just a little bit. You wanna control the amount of sodium. Okay, even though we added garlic, I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of garlic powder. And about 1/4 cup of onion powder, or granulated onion, whichever one of the two you have. They work just fine. I'm gonna add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. Okay guys, so our stock has finished cooking. It has been stewing for hours, and now all I'm gonna do is strain it. So I have a bowl here set up to catch what's left from the stew. So any meat products, any bones, anything like that is gonna come into here after I strain it into this bowl. If you do not want your stock to have any particles in it, nothing whatsoever, no pepper, no herbs, you want it to be a full, clear stock, no problem. Take a piece of cheesecloth, if you've got it. If not, you can pick that up at most grocery stores, and you're gonna line your strainer with the cheesecloth. That cheesecloth is gonna catch, it's super fine, so it's gonna catch any little bits that are left in there. I don't mind that at all, to be honest, so I'm not gonna do that. All I'm gonna do is very, very carefully, as I get closer, ladle this in. I just don't want big, heavy chunks in my stock. Okay, my bowl is just about full, so I'm gonna grab some quart jars, come in and start filling those up. Oh, I'm just short. All right, so I did 5.5 quarts. Still a win in my book. So I'm super happy with it. I'm gonna get those quarts canned up, and I'll show you the tally of what everything ended up being. All in all, guys, I think today was a pretty successful day. We ended up with 7 pounds of ground turkey meat plus 5.5 quarts of stock. And I still have, once it cools down, all of this leftover meat that I have to pick through to save for when I make like red beans and rice and things like that. It's nice to add that little bit of meat here and there, and those little tiny bites of meat will not go to waste. All of that meat's gonna be used. Maybe I'll show that to you in another video if you guys are interested in it. Leave a comment down below and I'll get to that. Guys, thank you so much for joining me again. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. At the end of the day, I spent $31 on that turkey. It was 19.92 pounds. And I ended up, when you think about the fact that each quart of turkey stock that was full of preservatives and things of that nature, excess sodium, that I was gonna buy at the store was almost $5. Plus $6.49 per pound for the ground turkey meat. If we do that math really quickly, we have, and I'll share it with you guys, 659 times 7 is 46.13. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 5 is 25. So let's see, 46.13 plus the $25 in stock would have been an extra $71.13 that I would have paid. I ended up paying around $31 for that turkey. So that's a savings of around $40 just for taking the time today to sit down and work it through, take it apart, grind it, do the work myself. So again, thank you so much for joining me. It's worth it to me. I know that I'm putting really good quality products on the table for my family and some extra cash in our pockets. So hopefully it works for you guys too. I hope to be inspiring you to do things like this. I love doing them and I hope that you guys do too. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day.